Hello, good evening, everybody. Today in this video, I would like to share my ideas, stay in this kind of small business, and my nature of conman. Couple of days ago, one of my best friend from my same hometown, and we went high school together, became very good friend, and he was all the time very supportive ever since. And then we took different paths after high school, didn't go to college, and directly got into the working and did a lot of casual and manual work, and later opened his own butcher shop. And ever since, he developed himself into that area. Vice versa myself. After high school, I've been through several college, not once, and then finally end up graduating one of the most prestigious college in Korea. And later I went abroad and did corporate marketing or international related job, you know, the most prominent company in that industry. And then later open my own company and operate in international way as a manufacturer, as an exporter, and including international trading. And then later I closed that operation in overseas country, and then later came back to Korea. And since then I've been doing this small cafe business in Korea. Me and my friend had a quite cheerful conversation over the phone. He just asked me, "What the hell your college degree mean after all?" The the question is sounds pretty nasty, right? Or like scornful, but not at all. I mean, actually, it was not at all sarcastic or scornful about what I'm doing right now. I mean, his meaning was you could have done better than what you're doing right now. As a really good friend, he, in a way, expect me more for more achievement. But what he's seeing me in Korea right now is almost same as his work, his business, physically very exhausting, tiring, and like so small considering his original expectation from me as a friend. I just took his question as a kind of casual joke, and like I was not offended at all because I knew his confession about me. Like he really wished me to much better than what I'm doing right now. I just talked back that I'm pretty cool, I'm pretty content. Don't worry, my friend. And I told him that if I would do bigger than this business, more handsome work right now, I would have end up in being conman. He just laughed at my reply, and he kind of agreed and laughed. And then after the phone call, I chewed over our conversation and about my nature, and I completely agree. I have a pretty good characteristic of conman. My characteristic to be a conman is something different reason from the ordinary thinking of conman. It's not about kind of good speaking skill, but my case is persistence. I'm very persistent person and go getter. What I'm saying is I'm quite good at enjoying something, a certain task, if I really want to do it, and then become very persistent. I'm the kind of nature who really wants to get something consistently, making very hard effort and consistently trying. If you fail once, twice, 3 times, but still persist to get there, that is me. That's my personality. And then sometimes with some imaginative or creative way, or even manipulative way. That is what I've been doing during my whole life. That characteristic make many other people look me as something different, something in a way reliable, in a way kind of confident. That is my good nature in a way. But at the same time, on the other hand, it could be very delusive and sometimes make people confused. During the course of my life, from my childhood, I proved that characteristic to other people, to the people who have known me. For example, I told you that I've been through several different colleges, right? Not one. Actually, I wasn't that smart to go one of the most prestigious college in Korea. I tried one college and after another college until I went to that college, which I originally wished in the first place. And then my family background, I was the last person to go many different countries, work there, live there, and then experience so many different countries' lifestyle. But I did it anyway. During my college days, I went to New York only for learning English, right? But once I got there, after like, 1 month, less than 2 months, I completely realized that this is not the place I want to be in originally. There was so much segregation. And then as a Korean, I basically no way to mingle with the people other than Korean. I have to live in Korean town. I quickly realized I made wrong decision, and that was not the place I want to be in for learning English. So I quickly decided to go to London instead after less than 2 months time. And then I just fly to London without any backup plan. And then I made it with some, in a way, imaginative, in a way, creative way of thinking that time. I stayed in London as a overseas volunteering worker at one of the NGO based in London, and I did that international NGO work like 1 year, and then later, and then end up working in China and running my own business, like total like 16 years after coming back to Korea, and then establishing this cafe business, which was completely foreign to me at that time. And I've been doing this cafe business almost like 10 years. Right? Why I am saying my journey of my life, I'm saying my persistence. You see, over the course of journey of my life until now, I can say that I'm very persistent to achieve my original aim. I took everything out of myself, out of from someone else, which means someone's support. Or during the course of getting some other people's support, I was very manipulative to get somebody else support. Maybe I was pulling out some kind of imaginative or creative some maneuver, whatever the way it is. That's my nature, being persistent with some imaginative way of deed or some creativity. Back to the original point, why I prefer being alone, work alone is looking, I just looking back, looking back my life course, people, this cafe business, I, let me say first, after all, my whole challenge of my life actually at the end of the day completely failed. That was the culmination of my life course until China. It was completely failure. That's why I wrap up whole China business, China operation, and then I came back to Korea and opened this new type of business, completely different area, different type. I never been experienced before. I tried to find out what is the real reason I end up failing. I pondered over this matter quite long time, you know, deep, hopeless pit of despair over my failure that time period. And then I came to realization I lacked, I could use some someone else, some other people's support, help, all the time try to take advantage of other people's compassion, their help, but I lacked my own core capacity, my own ability. That was my conclusion. And I all the time try to get someone else support and then sometimes be manipulated, sometimes not intentionally misguide them, mislead them, but it was manipulated anyway. And then although you got all the support from your partners or someone who care about you so much, because of my own lack of my own capacity, I never been able to made it. I never been able to reach the goal I dreamed originally. That was my conclusion. And then that's why, since I'm doing this business during the course of last close to 10 years time, my best achievement of this business, of what I'm doing right now, is I'm the one who completely rely on myself, not rely on other people's. I don't expect any kind of support from anybody else. I just count on myself and I just pulled out every single drop of my toil for this business. And I just try to try to completely myself. I don't want to disguise myself as a more capable than I am. I just admit the weakness of myself. I just admit my lack of ability, and I just manage everything for this business within the circle, within the boundary of my own capacity. What I mean by support is all the factors, not only humanly support, but also like some other like chemical support or some kind of medication, whatever. I've been doing this business completely solely count on my own physical and mental capacity without being helped by any kind of other humanity and other chemical support. That is what I'm saying now. And then, quite funny thing, during the course of this business, I've met many people who wish to invest on me on this business. Not one, quite many who are very prominent in their original scene. Somehow they really got interested in me and my business way here. And let's say they were very fascinated by me and my way of business here for last 10 years time. But I all the time decline. I completely understood why they were so fascinated with my style, including myself and my character and my way of business here, because I know the reason very clearly. Actually, I told you the earlier part, my nature of conman, quite different way, persistence, and sometimes imaginative or creative way of doing things, doing way of running business here. So they were, many of people are fascinated without knowing clearly what is going on here. And maybe myself in the past would have taken that opportunity to get to garner more investment to expand this business, but I declined because I clearly knew why they were fascinated in this business and me. Not many people around them can be this persistent for so many years without changing, without swaying around of the business model, right? Or the attitude, lifestyle, whatever. But one thing I'm very clear about myself is I'm not good enough or I'm not smart enough. My core capacity to expand my current business in the size of my original aim still allow. I'm not reached the point that I can agree with myself. And my lack of capacity of the goal will eventually misguide them, mislead them, and the outcome finally wouldn't be that desirable. That is, I'm very clear about that things. That's why I declined all the offers for investment. Honestly, I also very big desire to expand my business and achieve my original goal with the brand, my creature of my brain. be cold, but I also completely admit that I'm not yet capable enough to this business to the level I originally wished. I still think my original wish, my original dream is delusional, I admit, and I'm not capable enough to hold that dream to come true yet. But it doesn't mean that I give up my dream, my goal of life with this brand, Bitcoin, but I can persistently wait until myself is capable enough to hold the dream eventually. I'm still content and grateful about current state of this business, and I'll keep this way calmly and peacefully and clearly. By the time I will grow up to the point my own capacity hold the whole weight someday. I don't know when, but I'll be persistent about chasing my end goal of my life. Thank you very much and hope to see you in the next one.